Hi, I'm Rob. I'll make it better, that's what I do. I want to take a moment here to explain how the PGA instruction works that people may not know. Yes, you understand is that every PGA 2 guru, for example, and your local club pro have the same PGA education behind them. And Luke Donald, 2011, he found out that the hard way because he was, playing really well, number one in the world, and he wanted 30 more meters, and his PGA guru couldn't give it to him. So he was thinking in his infinite wisdom that, well, I need to go to a more famous PGA guru. And he lost his career right there in that decision. If you go to someone else who has the same education behind them, they're going to teach you the same shit with a different name. Right? It won't work so well. So, how good is PGA instruction? PGA instruction has a 99% failure rate. It's an epic failure, right? 99% of you who play golf or want to learn to play golf never going to reach scratch handicap, the way you're supposed to play a golf course. On par, right? 99%. That's pretty bad. And then people defend that. The people who are golf experts on Golf X and Centrum forums of golf, right? They are expert on golf. They know everything about golf. That means that they know everything about that 99% failure rate. They teach you as a golfer. So, yeah, it gets worse. 90% of you will never reach single handicap level skill. The PA instruction is just so bad. It's so broken. And they can't fix it. And I had this guy a few years back contact me, and he said, I spent 5 years, he said, and I went to 12 different PGA instructors, expecting a different result, by the way. And he said, I do everything, they have TrackMan, they have video, I do all the drills, I, do the lessons. He's put a lot of money and energy into that. And it didn't work. When he played, he just broke down. He didn't know why. They couldn't explain to him, right? He sent me a swing and I looked at it, and in 5 seconds flat I was like, oh yeah, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And 12 PGA instructors, the same medication, Butch Harmon, Hank Hennig, Sean Foley, David Leber, Pete Cowan, Monty Schulman, Rick Shields, now this couldn't identify him, right? Because they don't know. Now, the metric why you are so bad at golf is because with modern golf instruction, when they put the modern golf grip, you lose 50 meters from tee. Right? There is a reason to, and all this you can research yourself. The numbers will stay consistent no matter what country you're from and so on. And they show that a 20-year-old is around 240-yard average. When you get older, it's down to 220 yards. And as you go even older, you probably have, 200, 180 yards, like, 60, age 60 or something like that, right? I play with a few, older people, and that seems to hold up pretty well. Or at least here, around here. Maybe it's different in your country. I don't think so. So they tracked over 6 million golf shots from people all over the world. Well, now I have a 66-year-old, and he told me that he was playing a few weeks ago down south of Europe. He said he's been able to hit and drive a couple of par fours at 320 yards. And this guy at age 66 at 260 yards plus. And he wasn't there previously, of course, because with the PGA you lose distance, As soon as you put your thumb grip and when they teach you this stuff, you lose 50 meters from tee. You're gonna, and you don't know that. Everybody who teaches from PGA, they don't know that. First thing that's going to happen, you're going to be stuck. And then you have to develop compensation. Every two pro you see has compensations there. And I can point them out to all those two pros if they want to, for a nice price. Because they don't know. They think they're doing great. But they don't. They also know that they hit, they have no connection, they lose connection. They hit a slicer hook or a skank or whatever it might be. And they don't know why. And they go back to, the PGA 2 pros try to fix it and try to fix it, try to fix it, try to fix it, try to fix it, and it never works. You know, I'm built a little bit different. So when I investigate and research the golf swing mechanics, I realized pretty fast that all the PGA tours and such, they don't know what they're talking about. The golf, they don't understand it. So when I did my research, I realized and found that, you know, how it actually should be taught and work. Right? That's why I teach a different grip and do a little bit different drills and so on. And if spring arrives here and we get warm weather outside, I might do the usual backyard reminder. I don't play golf, you know, anymore. Not even with a cart, because I have an illness called ME/CFS. Some people call it long COVID nowadays. I like to tell people that because, you know, people don't know what that's like. And because people are built a little bit like that, they get COVID. It's very popular in media. A lot of people die, by the way. A lot of people get, you know, long COVID. And they think, for whatever reason, that it's different than ME/CFS. No, it's just that people believe with COVID that they are more special. They have a different, you know, ME/CFS than everybody else. Now, this is how it works. You get an energy recovery problem with ME/CFS and long COVID. You get what people call brain fog, you know, impairs, you know, cognitive things. You have less stress tolerance, basically, right? And you also have an acid buildup. That means that if you do physical activity, your body produces acid normally, right? If you exertion and go to the gym, go for a run. But with this illness, you have up to 10 times more acid buildup doing something like this. Oh, I'm lifting this, and you get acid buildup. Now you have a problem with removing that. It goes a lot slower. I can't go for a run. I have had this for 25 years, so if I try to go for a run, after 50 meters, usually my body stops. It can't remove the acid, and I'm here. So I have to walk, and that's just about it. Yeah. So anyway, 3 years ago, I had this 50-year-old. He told me he's going to go all in on my grip and my drills and such. And he was at 240 yards for PGA. He actually went to a PGA teacher. He was a little bit longer. And he said, I want more distance. And the PGA goes, oh yeah, I'm going to teach you more distance. I'm an expert on this golf course stuff. I'm a PGA educator. So he lost yard. He was at 240 yards for 2 years. Then he found me and said, I like what you say. I like how you talk. You talk about skills. And he told me later he didn't believe that shit. Because he knew after 2 years with PGA, there must be a secret to golf swing. And if I know the secret, then I can swing and play like Ben Hogan or something like that, right? This is pure bullshit. There is no secret in golf, I know. So after a week, he started doing that. And after a week, I told him, can you pause doing the drill? And he said, oh yeah, I can do that. And he posted it and said, and I knew he wouldn't do it correctly. And I said, that's not my instruction. You're not following my instruction. Why are you doing that? And he said, straightforward, I like feedback. He said, it feels bad, Rob. And I said, have I ever told people that it's going to feel fucking amazing learning to do this? And he was like, no. Why would you expect it to be? Why are people thinking it's going to feel good to change? Because here's how your brain works. Most people don't know that. Your brain likes to keep things within, contextual, right? In the context you operate from. If you start changing things, you're going to feel a bit awkward or weird or strange and such. And the brain's default mode is to go back to what feels, oh, this feels good. Oh, I can't hit the ball more than 240 yards. Oh, it feels so good, So if I just start doing a drill, well, I don't like it, it feels bad. And I said, that's my instruction. You told me you're going to go all in my instruction. And this guy was like, okay. So he started doing it daily, I guess. And 6 weeks later, he was at 350 yards. He went from 240 yards to 350 yards. That's a 100-meter increase. PGA is absolutely fucking broken because they don't understand that they teach you, once you have the modern golf grip in thumb and shaft, you're stuck and you develop bad habits. And now their habits are. And that creates an unnatural sequence. And all the tuples you see are compensating like shit. And you, as an amateur, are even worse. So, yeah. 99% failure rate for being scratched, 90% failure rate for reaching single handicap skill, and the major metric is distance from tee. I mean, people start following what I do and start applying it to get longer, and they don't know why. I have a dad. He was playing with his kid a couple of years ago, and he was telling me, you know, he wants more distance. Change the grip, start doing this. And he was like, yeah. And after one, at some point, he told me, my top position feels absolutely fucking wrong. He said. And I said, yeah, posted. He posted, and I just posted Phil Mickelson in the same position. And I said, that's Phil Mickelson's position. He's in the same position as you now. Why would you think it's weird when he has the same position? And he's a pretty good player, Phil Mickelson, by the way. And he was like, because I don't need to explain things. People say, oh, it feels weird, but they don't check the evidence. So all I'm talking about here, you can check and do your own research and find out for yourself how bad PGA instruction is. And you guys and ladies and everybody else, you defend those people teaching that shit. What can I say? And people are fact resistant, yes, you know that. You are very, very fact resistant. Even when all the evidence is stacked against PGA, people are still going to defend it because, but they must know what they're doing because we pay them a lot of money. Or, oh, they are famous, they're teaching 2 pros. Yeah, so? Do you think they know what they're doing? Look, well, that guy is much more famous. He's going to help me go and get better with majors. And he lost his career. And I'm not just talking about amateurs here. I'm talking about 2 pros. You are in the hands of amateur coaches. There's no other way to say that. PGA just absolutely suck fucking ass. There's no way to say it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's just bad. And then people defend that shit. Go figure, right?